gift of money to the state. Would you be up for that?
Oh, that's right.
Can you stand up and, this is my dad, Jack Baxter. So Dad was the majority leader of the House, right? Majority leader of the House
I was at that time.
at that time. So he might have been the next governor if he hadn't had to go to Oregon to pursue the family business, but that's water under the bridge. So tell us your little story, Dad.
Well, to make it as long story as short as possible, when I was the majority leader of the House, the governor called me up at 7 o'clock one morning and said, your uncle Percival wants to give the state $500,000 to start a fund for Baxter State Park, but he's afraid that if it is up to the general fund, that sometime they will cut their contributions. And he later, of course, gave a lot of money to the fund. But anyway, the governor told him that in order to give money to the state, the state had to have a legislative act. And he told Percy that it took a week or so to get a legislative act through the House and Senate. And Uncle Percy said, well, I understand, and I guess I said, we've had cloture, and so we can't produce a new act anymore without unanimous consent. And he said, Uncle Percy said, my chauffeur is outside, and I'm getting in the car, and I'm coming to the State House. And you call my nephew, and he'll get the job done. So the governor called me and said, this was John Reed, and he said, your uncle's on the way to the State House now, and you better get to work. Well, to make a long story short, I did know the ropes at that time, so I was able to go back and forth, House of Senate, House of Senate, and had a legislative act about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And at that point, I had to ask for unanimous consent to introduce a bill. And I had killed many. It was up to me as majority leader to refuse to allow any more bills in. And Harvey Pease was the clerk of the House then, and he was a strict disciplinarian, and he made very sure that once we had cloture, there would be no more act. So after killing several guys' acts who forgot to introduce legislation, I had to get up and ask for unanimous consent. And of course there were some fools and so forth, but they knew what it was for. So I got unanimous consent, and I had the act of in the House by about 4 o'clock. In the meantime, Uncle Percy was sitting in the governor's office waiting for all this to happen. And so I thought the poignant part to all this story was that we were ready to enact the bill to accept his gift of $450,000 as well as everything. And so the judge and Judge Reed said to Uncle Percy, we're going to enact your bill now, and wouldn't you like to go sit at the dais while we enact the bill? But Uncle Percy said, no, I'm afraid I might influence the vote. So he was a very modest man, and I thought that was the point to really the whole story. And so we get the job done, and that was that.
So Howard, do you have anything to add to
Yeah,
that?
I would just like to add a little postscript to that. Jack's recounting of the legislative history and the suspension of the rules in, I guess it was in early 1961, is very important in terms of the future history for the park. The park itself is called Baxter State Park, but it really isn't a state park in the normal sense, administered through the Department of Conservation. It is wholly autonomous and funded exclusively from monies that have been made available from the Baxter Trust. And without going into the details, this was the first of two gifts made by Percival during his lifetime that are known now as the State Trust. Those gifts constitute about $1.5 million. And then the money that was gifted to the park after Baxter's death became the Boston Trust. So there's a state trust and a Boston Trust. And to this day, 2/3 of the operating costs of Baxter State Park are funded by those two trusts. Then your question would be, well, what about the other third? Well, roughly 20% is from user fees for using the overnight camping facilities. About 10% from the scientific revenues generated by the scientific forestry management area in the two most northerly townships of the park. And then about 3% from fees secured from outer-state motor vehicles that enter the park. The bottom line is that there are no general fund revenues used to run Baxter State Park. It's entirely funded by these four sources, but principally by the trusts, the state and the Boston Trust, and Jack was right there at day one in terms of the creation of the first gift for the state trust.
Thank you. So we have many notable Baxter family members here, and we also have a notable friend out here, Herb Adams, who is rerunning for the legislature from Percy Baxter's district. He was the legislator from Percy Baxter's district and termed out, and he's now rerunning. So Herb, say hello to the people. This is Herb. And he's speaking tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. at the sundial on James Finney Baxter. He is a Baxter aficionado of some repute. So if you have any questions about the Baxters, go to Herb. If you have any questions about Baxter State Park and its formation, go to Howard. And if you want to support Baxter State Park, go to Barbara Bentley. Join the Friends of Baxter. And
I also have the schedule for tomorrow's activities, which start at 6 and at 8 at night. So I'm glad to share that with you.
And Barbara has in hand a proclamation signed by the governor himself to make tomorrow Governor Baxter Wilderness Legacy Golden Anniversary Day. So we're not going to read it tonight because we don't want to put you through too much. But I'm sure it'll be published. And so congratulations on securing the document, the two of you. And so we'll release you to enjoying and have a chat with Dad or Howard or Earl or anybody if you have any further questions. And